Hello everyone, this video is a little different. I know you're all waiting for the next devlog of Hopwander, and trust me, it's coming, but I didn't have enough cool stuff for a full video just yet. But I know y'all need that juicy content, so I decided to challenge myself and create a tiny game in just 2 days. And to make it even harder, I didn't use any engines like Unity or Unreal, nope, just pure C++ and the Raylib library. I'm also planning to make this into a mini-series where I take small game suggestions from you guys and build them in a few days. So while you're waiting for the next Hopwander content, you'll still have fun games to play. So let's dive in. The idea for the game came from a lot of you who wanted a tongue grappling mechanic in Hopwander. Don't worry, it's coming, but I thought why not build a short game around just that mechanic first. So I started simple. The first thing I did was open up Visual Studio and drew a blank screen. No game engines here, so I had to manually set up a window using Raylib's init window function and define the resolution. Super bare bones. Then I dropped a green circle in the center of the screen to represent my frog. I applied gravity manually every frame using this. Next, I added some orange circles on the screen. These would act as the bugs. Clicking on a bug would pull the frog toward it. This was the first attempt at a grappling mechanic. Basically, when you clicked, I just calculated the direction vector between the frog and the bug and moved the frog's position towards it. But it felt super stiff, there was no momentum, so I decided to add physics. So I borrowed some physics formulas from Google and added real velocity and gravity. Just added a acceleration vector toward the bug and let the frog build momentum naturally. Now the frog launches towards the bug. It actually feels good to control. You can do wild mid-air swings, all that good stuff. I also added a side-scrolling camera that follows the frog horizontally. And to make things fun, I made the camera speed increase the more bugs you collect, using this. This added a nice pressure to the gameplay. Suddenly, the game wasn't just about swinging, it became a race against the screen edge. Once the mechanics were feeling solid, it was time for the art. I booted up my totally legal copy of Photoshop and started drawing the visuals. A cute little frog sprite, a few quirky bugs, and some background layers. After adding the sprites, the game really started to shape up visually, but there was one problem. The frog just kind of floated through the air like a stiff board. It didn't rotate based on the direction it was swinging, which looked super weird, especially since the physics now had momentum. So I did some math, I calculated the angle of movement using good old trigonometry, and converted it from radians to degrees. Then I used Raylib's Draw Texture Pro function, which lets you rotate a texture around a pivot point. Now, the frog actually tilts and rotates with its velocity, giving that nice juicy feedback when you're swinging through the air. The background image felt too static, so I layered a second background on top and tiled it across the screen with a parallax effect. That means the background moves slower than the foreground, giving the game some nice depth. It's all math, just multiply the camera's exposition by a scroll factor of like -0.3 and draw each tile accordingly. Simple, but it makes the game look way more polished. Now comes the most important part, sound. I added sound effects for the tongue and bug pop using Raylib's load sound and play sound. Then I added background music using load music stream and played it in a loop. At first, I just used some placeholder lo-fi track that I found on freesound.org, but then my friend Chocopichu on Discord, huge shout out to him, said he will make me a custom soundtrack. But for now, here's the game with the placeholder music. But here's where the problem started. I wanted this game to run in the browser using WebAssembly, so I compiled it using mscripten. Easy, right? Wrong. The first time I compiled, the game ran, but there was no sound. Turns out, browsers block autoplay audio, so I had to only initialize the audio and start playing the music after a mouse click. I added this check. Still no sound. Then I got an error about this thing not being exported. After 2 hours of pain, I tried to add this script to my compiler, and that somehow fixed it. I still don't know how it works. But hey, it works. I finally had working music and sound on the web. And with everything working, I did some minor polishes and added a different variety of bug colors. I zipped up the files, uploaded them to itch.io, set the project as playable on the web, and published it. The game was finally live. So that's Lick and Swing, a game I made in only 2 days using nothing but code. You can play it right now on itch.io, the link's in the description. And if you somehow manage to beat my high score of 55, I'll give you a shout out in the next devlog. Make sure to send your results in my Discord server, I'd love to see how far you can get, link to join below. Of course you may encounter bugs and the game itself is pretty hard. The game runs on pretty much any modern browser, you can even play it on your phone, though I really wouldn't recommend it. The mobile version is super buggy, the sound doesn't work, so stick to desktop. I'm still working hard on Hopwander, and the next devlog is coming, don't worry, but these mini projects help me stay sharp and creative in between bigger devlogs. And if you have small game ideas, drop them in the comments and I might turn them into one of these mini challenges. Thanks for watching, and if you want more videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and wishlist Hopwander on Steam. Cheers.